Have you ever felt like you're just constantly picking up the slack for someone who, well, can't seem to get anything right? You're definitely not alone. There's a name for this, and it's a subtle but incredibly draining tactic called weaponized incompetence. So in this explainer, we're going to break down exactly what it is, and more importantly, how to spot it.
I mean, we all know this scene, right? It's always played for laughs on TV. You've got the bumbling partner who somehow manages to shrink a favorite sweater or turn all the whites bright pink. And then, with this sheepish grin, they're magically and permanently relieved of laundry duty. It's a classic bit.
Okay, but let's pause for a second. What happens when that sitcom act leaves the screen and walks right into your real life? All of a sudden, it's not so funny anymore, is it?
And look, this isn't just about romantic relationships. Think about it. What about that coworker who always seems to mess up their part of the big presentation, so you have to swoop in and fix it at the last minute? Or maybe that friend who forgets how to book a group dinner, leaving you to handle all the planning every single time.
All right, let's get into it. Let's really decode this whole feigned ignorance thing. What's the dark psychology here that makes playing dumb so effective and, honestly, so damaging? So, at its core, weaponized incompetence is pretty much what it sounds like. It's pretending you're bad at something just to get out of doing it. The key here isn't that they can't do the task. Oh no. It's that they've figured out it's way easier to just seem incapable so that someone else, yeah, you, will just do it for them.
And let's be really clear about this. This is not just laziness. It's actually a form of passive-aggressive psychological warfare. The whole strategy is to just wear you down until you finally give in and say, "Oh, fine, I'll do it myself," just to get it done right and avoid the headache.
This is where we need to draw a really clear line between an honest mistake and actual manipulation. Look, anyone can mess up. We all do. But a genuine error usually leads to learning. You take responsibility, you learn, you move on. Weaponized incompetence? That's a repeating pattern. It's specifically designed to avoid learning and to shift that responsibility right onto your shoulders again and again.
So, what's the actual damage here? Let's break down the true cost when you're on the receiving end of this stuff, because it is costly.
First and foremost, it is exhausting. Seriously. It's like having a battery that never gets to fully charge. Constantly having to double-check work or redo it or just take over tasks completely is a massive drain on your mental and your physical energy.
But you know, it goes even deeper than just the physical work. You're also forced to do all the emotional labor that goes along with it. All the planning, the reminding, the worrying. You end up carrying the entire mental load for responsibilities that aren't even yours to begin with.
And then, of course, there's the literal labor. You're the one who ends up washing the dishes, finalizing the report, booking the tickets yourself. Why? Because it just feels easier than dealing with the fallout of them doing it poorly again.
I mean, think of it this way. When someone uses weaponized incompetence, what they're really doing is outsourcing the annoying parts of their life directly onto you. You basically become their unpaid personal assistant, and you never even signed up for the job.
Okay, so how do you fight back against this kind of energy vampire? The good news is there are totally ways to stop this cycle and start reclaiming your energy. The antidote is a really powerful framework called a competence boundary. Now, this isn't about starting a fight or a huge confrontation. It's about clarity. It's about putting up a protective shield for your own skills and, more importantly, your own energy. So it really boils down to 3 clear steps. First, you have to identify the pattern. Is this a one-time thing or is it a reoccurring theme? Second, you have to communicate the boundary. This can be a really calm, simple phrase like, "I trust you to handle this," or "I'm confident you can figure it out." And finally, and this one is absolutely crucial, you have to stop providing the solution. Just stop. Let them face the natural consequences. Let them deal with the shrunken sweater or the missed deadline. This isn't about punishing them, it's about giving them the space to finally develop their own competence. You see, when you're always saving them, you're actually stopping them from ever learning.
So, let's talk about the end goal. What happens when you actually succeed at establishing this competence boundary? What does reclaiming your energy really look like? The ultimate takeaway is this: setting these kinds of boundaries is not selfish. Not at all. It is a fundamental act of self-preservation. You are protecting your time, your skills, and your precious energy from being taken over by someone else's refusal to take responsibility. So we're going to leave you with one final powerful question to think about in your own life. Just take a moment and really let this sink in. Whose labor are you doing for free?